What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to Bournemouth versus Arsenal match preview. We've got the wonderful G. The wonderful G. How are we doing, G?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Obviously, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm 4 weeks into my return to teaching, so it's absolutely killing me. But I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I think I've rattled quite a few Brentford fans this week on Twitter. I don't know if people have noticed. I put out a tweet a couple of days ago and said that, you know, because obviously the reaction, sorry to go off topic, but the reaction to the cup game against Brentford, I thought was, you know, pretty bad from some Arsenal fans. I mean, I don't think it was our best performance, but I think it was a solid professional performance away from home, you know, against a decent Brentford side. So I put out a tweet saying, look, Arsenal fans, like, enjoy the game or go to bed, because like we're through. That's the most important thing. We beat a full strength Brentford side. Now, obviously, when I said full strength Brentford side, I put out that I meant in terms of like who they could play, available players. But yeah, it rattled so many Brentford fans. So I've had so much fun over the last couple of days arguing with Brentford fans on Twitter. So Brentford fans, I love you. It's not personal, yeah. Just a bit of banter. Don't send me no hate inbox messages or DM messages, which I have been sent from a few. So thanks for those. You know, I know you love me, so it's all good. But yeah, no, I'm all good. Bobby. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. That's just mad.
The world of X, yeah, is absolutely crazy at times. Like literally, I sent it and I woke up in the morning and my notifications just blew up. And I had DMs from Brentford fans like telling me, you don't know nothing about our club, and why are you saying we were full strength? I was like, chill out, people, man.
Jeez, ridiculous. Big up to Luke Chapman. Look, you're a Northampton fan, and I love that you're always coming into our comments. I love you. I love your updates, to be honest, as well. My sister and brother-in-law bought for my birthday 2 tickets to see Northampton play on November the 11th versus Burton at 3 p.m. Hope you have a lovely birthday. Hope you enjoy the game as well, and I hope Northampton turn their season around. I know they haven't started off the greatest, so big up to you, Luke. Big up to Tony Fulbrook. He's not so happy to see you, G. Bobby and Jim, damn, my score won't be good. Look, I will not be letting him score his own squad today. I know it would be a 10 because it's G, but look, you should see the WhatsApp group that we're in as well. The excuses for the challenge is out there already. It's ridiculous. Big up to Chris. Evening over there, lads. It's morning here in Vegas. Yet another boxing fight I'm attending. I don't care. I love my boxing, mate. Enjoy life. You know, you only get one, unfortunately. Enjoy it. Who's boxing in Vegas?
I
have literally no idea.
No, we're even over there, lads. This morning here in Vegas, yeah, another boxing fight. To be honest, the only boxing I really, really follow is the heavyweights. And I don't believe it's the Fury fight this weekend. I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit later in October. So yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Well, I know he's the Fury and Usyk have
they've just agreed to fight.
Doing,
the AJ and Wilder fight seems to be on the rocks. That possibly might be falling through, but I'm glad Fury and Usyk are going to get it on, because that's a fight I've been wanting to see for a while.
For some reason, we're starting to talk about boxing now.
Sorry, I know.
Yes, Luke's saying he's apologising for all the DMs on Twitter.
No. The comments is fine. Like, Luke, honestly, I don't mind the whole going back and forth with Arsenal fans, Brentford fans on the timeline, but yeah, some Brentford fans, didn't send too very kind a message to me in my DMs.
Tony's already given you a 6. He's already getting his scoring nice and
you know what? I'm thrilled. I got a 6 from Tony. I thought it'd be like a 3 or a 2.
Chris saying it's Canelo versus Almoury.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't really follow the lighter weights too tough, but I know Chris, the names.
Mate, enjoy, because I haven't got a clue. You know I don't.
Yeah.
But I always talk to you about boxing because it's what you like. I just haven't got a clue. But yeah, middleweight is definitely heavyweights is the people I actually know.
That's the only rule.
Any other weights, I ain't got a clue. Many years ago, I used to be a big fan of it until, unfortunately, something happened to Michael Watson. Then I went totally out of boxing. It just didn't interest me anymore. Is it Fury Usyk fight on now? They announced it today. They ain't falling me where there's official date as much as I love boxing. I don't want to rant about it again. No, rant all you much. It has been announced today, but I suppose it can fall through and it can.
Yeah, we need that fight to go ahead.
But anyway, let's talk about the Bournemouth Arsenal game. 3:00 tomorrow. There will be a reaction. We don't know when. I'm prepared to do one tomorrow night, so that could happen. But if someone wants to do it straight after or whatever, that might happen as well. But it will happen tomorrow at some point. Just so everyone's fully aware. We don't go hiding, unlike certain Tottenham fans, when a result doesn't go your way. But look, I'm not that worried about the Bournemouth game, and that's no disrespect to Bournemouth, but they're having as many issues as we are. When it comes to injuries. Obviously, you've got to do the injury list. Someone is missing from the injury list because he's 25% chance of not playing. So I haven't put him on there. So he's still applicable for you to pick in your team. I'm looking forward to combined 11. Well, don't forget, it's not a combined 11. We do it as a challenge. So it's 5 Bournemouth, 6 Arsenal. Because if it was combined 11, I guarantee hardly any of us play it.
It's not even too bad if both sides had fully fit squads, but with our injury, I haven't even seen the Bournemouth list yet. So if you're telling me that their side is just as depleted as ours, then God help me in this challenge.
Not as like important players, I'd say, and that's no disrespect to, again, the Bournemouth. No disrespect to the Bournemouth squad, but these aren't the big names. Because obviously I've had to do my flag players to watch. I didn't have a problem this week. I did against Brentford, if I'm honest. That was really tricky. Good. So, let's get into talking about the game. So these are the stats for both sides this season so far. Obviously, we're in 5th. They're in 17th. They haven't even won a game yet. Drawn 3, lost 3. Average goal scored is 0.83. Obviously, you can see where the issue is for Bournemouth. 1.83 goals conceded per game, and only 1 clean sheet. Create chances is 1. Now, obviously, I talked about it the other day. I'm slightly concerned about our created chances, but Bournemouth are struggling more than we are, so that's good for me. Obviously, Arsenal haven't lost a game, even though if you looked on X, you'd think Arsenal have lost a couple of games because, look, I said it and I will keep saying it. The only game I've actually enjoyed this season is the PSV. It was 100% effort, beautiful performance. The rest of the performance have worried me. However, I'm from a time where George Graham got 1-0 wins, 2-0 wins, and the performance was poor. But he knew how to get the result out. And that's all I care about at the end of the day. The second part that I worry about is the performance. Win first, performance second is for me. Because it's all about points. It's all about it's a performance.
It's funny because I had an Arsenal fan, a geezer, come on my tweet or whatever you want to call it now that I put out about the Brentford game, and one of his kind of analysis was that, obviously Havertz has been rubbish, in his humble opinion, and Arsenal haven't played well all season, and I completely disagree. But what I did say before I go on to what I said to him, I mean, I completely agree with you. The PSV game is probably the only game that I've enjoyed from the first ball that's been kicked to the end of the game. I thought it was the only kind of complete performance that we've had all season, or close to complete performance, or even close to the type of football we were playing last season. But in terms of the games we've played so far, I don't think we've played badly in all those games, but the consistency just hasn't been there. So, for example, even if you look at the Spurs match, for me, the first kind of 20, 30 minutes, I thought we were really good. I mean, we took the lead. We had chances to make the game 2-3, maybe even 4-0. And then we just lost the initiative. We lost the momentum. So that's what I think has been the problem this season. It's not so much that we haven't played well. I think we've played well in spells, but we've not been able to, carry those spells over to longer periods in the game. Yeah. But then even when we're not playing well, we're just losing that initiative in the match, and we're losing control of the game. And that's the problem for me. So I think we have played well in patches, but there's just no consistency. And I think that's why, fans are concerned, and obviously we have dropped points. I think the other thing to be said as well is, because City have come out the blocks like Usain Bolt and won 6 games on the bounce in the Premier League, all that does is just increase and intensify the pressure and the microscope on us by our own fans, because they're looking at City. City now is the benchmark, isn't it? And City often tend to start not too well in the Premier League season. So people are looking at City having won back-to-back 6 games. They're looking at us that we've, dropped points in 2 of our games. And it's like all of a sudden we're already like 4 points off the top of the Premier League, because everybody's still got their eye on that kind of first Premier League title in a while. So I get the frustration, but I mean, if you look online and you look at some of the reactions, you wouldn't actually believe that we're still unbeaten, and we've actually made a really good start to our campaign. But it is what it is, and everybody's got their own, perspective, their own interpretation of how we're doing. So yeah, it's just all about opinions, really.
Exactly, and I always say that everyone's opinion, it matters. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but I'll listen to it, and I will say what I feel is, in my opinion, slightly wrong with it. But I'm not going to tell them to change their opinion. That's not my job. It's their opinion. It's their life. Their decisions. So I have no issues with it.
Sometimes you just got to agree to disagree, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what being a football fan is all about. Because at the end of the day, for me, being an Arsenal fan is part of a family. Yeah, you don't want to fall out with your family. You don't. It just doesn't want to happen.
Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, which is Arsenal to be successful, regardless of what angle or what our opinion is.
If there's any football fan out there that supports whatever team, doesn't matter what team it is, if it's Aldershot, if it's Salford Town, I had to giggle there, but you all want your team to win. Every single one. No one wants their team. No one's going to go and pay 25, 30, 50 quid to go and watch your team, and you want them to lose. True. That. Yeah. It's madness. Bobby, when talking about Bournemouth, that's no disrespect to Bournemouth, but it's disrespected at the same time. Big up to Chris. My issue is that Arteta is changing things when not broken, because he can. I do agree that sometimes he is tinkering a little bit too much. Sometimes. At the moment, all eyes are on him. And to be honest, rightly so, if I'm honest, this season. If Bournemouth are the answer, I'm not sure what the question is. I just don't know what they are when watching them. I'll be honest, I don't think Bill made the right decision in sacking Gary, if I'm honest. Gary got him in safety last season, then sacked him, brought in this Spanish dude. Can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. I think it was a big risk, and so far I don't think it's paid off. We should stop worrying about City and concentrate. I hate talking about City. I know a lot of people love comparing everything to City, comparing Arteta to Pep. I don't want to when I got brought up, I was never told to compare us to Liverpool or Man United at the time. It was just concentrate on Arsenal.
That's
That's
it.
the only team you support. You don't support City. You don't have a love for City. You don't, it's enjoy your club. And that's what I do. I enjoy my club. It's the toxic positive and toxic negative fans I can't be on with. I get told I am not a proper fan by both. Luke, you support Arsenal.
Yeah, that's the thing, Like I know, like myself and Luke, we've agreed, we've disagreed, but I never ever understand that concept of you're not a proper fan. I just don't get it. And to be fair, nobody has the right to even say it, because like, who are you to say it? Like, who made who made you judge and jury of what is a fan or what isn't a fan? So no, I completely agree, Luke. It's something that's been labeled to me as well in the past. You're not the only one, because there are times when I have opinions that goes against the grain, and people say, "Oh, you're not a proper fan. Get behind the side, etc." But it's just opinions for me. But I completely agree, regardless of what your opinion is. Unless it's completely out there and you're hoping Arsenal lose and get relegated to the Championship, then I can understand if somebody maybe wants to label that as not being a proper fan. But just having a difference of opinion is completely unacceptable for anybody to label any Arsenal fan as that. So I completely agree with you, Luke.
Big up to Bart. Is a serious fan. Is scoring in the league an issue for Arsenal, unlike Liverpool and City, who can average over 2.5 goals per game? How can Arteta remedy it? I believe he will remedy it, and I believe he will remedy it in January. I think Arteta knows the issue and will sort it. Look, we all know there's an issue.
We need a front man.
Look, as much as our strikers should score goals, I also believe our strikers should open space to allow Saka and Martinelli or whoever play on the wings to score goals. However, sometimes you also need your striker to get the goal as well. And clearly that's not working at the moment. Jesus and Nketiah, I think one of them will leave in January personally. And I think someone will come in. We'll wait and see who it is. But that's my opinion at the moment. I'll let you know more in November. Negativity gets views. It does, Tony. That is the problem. They think fans seem to love it, and it's not just their own fans; it's opposition fans. They love seeing that kind of stuff. There's certain big Arsenal people out there, and they've got a massive following. And it's not just Arsenal fans; it's United, City.
Well, that's why a lot of the without naming names, but that's why a lot of certain Arsenal fan channels grew so much. It was because they became, it became comical for rival fans. If you look at the number of views and stuff, it was like more opposition fans were viewing that kind of negative content more than actual Arsenal fans. So, negativity sells, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. Tony trying to look, he's only joking. Big up to the Silva household. Everyone's poorly in that household, so big up to you. Hope you will get better soon. Tony will be joining me on Monday, hopefully, depending on illness, for Monday morning for a preview for the RC Lon game, due to the fact that's his French team. So he's coming on to do the challenge with me because he should have to do it, not anyone else. The midweek win without some of the regulars must have helped boost the morale in the squad. The second half wouldn't have helped once again because we got battered. Let's be honest. Second half we got battered, but we were resilient, and that's the main thing. Big up to Geordie. Away the lads. I just love saying it, so I'm glad you put that in there. So big up to you. Obviously, you're a Newcastle fan, so big up to Newcastle for knocking City out and not giving them the chance to win. Not giving them the chance of winning 4 trophies this season. Stop playing Jesus out left. That doesn't work. He can play on the wings. I think the right is the better for him, if I'm honest, not the left. But I do agree. I think Jesus should just be our striker, due to the fact that is what we bought him for. I hope that Havertz gets going for you guys, as it would relieve the creative burden from Odegaard. Also, maybe Arsenal could be more effective from set plays. Me and Brenny had this discussion about the Havertz Odegaard issue. I think that Arteta should try this. Not telling him to do it, but just try it. Hold back Odegaard and let Havertz go forward more. I think that would work wonderfully. let Havertz do what Odegaard does, because Havertz can do that just as well as Odegaard, but Odegaard is better as a centre midfielder than Havertz is. That's my opinion, and I think we'll see a better Havertz, if I'm honest. Saliba injured. There is a slight doubt. Not a big doubt, just a slight doubt. Look, Arsenal currently are one of the best for not letting anything out. I'm certainly not going to help any information get out either. So there's a slight knock. That is it. He could be fit. He could be starting tomorrow. You never know. Arteta's very clever with the media. Bournemouth under, that dude. Iralola, I think his name is. Seem more open than they were under Gary O'Neill, although it would be interesting to see how they set up against Arsenal. Solanke is dangerous from set plays. Solanke is one of the ones that is out. I think he's a doubt, but I can't remember because it's on the list. RC Lens playing tonight, getting that extra day on us. The French League respects their representatives. I get that. But the Premier League couldn't have done much about it, if I'm honest. They just couldn't have done it. But they're playing Strasbourg tonight, which I believe is that Vieira's new team, Strasbourg.
I think it might be.
Yeah,
I think it might be.
Players being safe for City, says Tony. Smash the likes. GTalks will give you an extra big smile if you do. Even though it's quite creepy. Right, let's move on to the head-to-head with Bournemouth. I've had to put Brooks up there because he is inspirational. So he probably won't play. He probably won't play much of a part. So if anyone wants to have a dig at me for picking him because he's not going to start, however, absolute legend for me. He's gone through horrendous illness and he's back playing. So big up to Brooksy. Absolutely love him to bits. Anyway, but. Just that 12 games we've played them, 2 draws, only the 1 Bournemouth win, which was at home for them, 9 Arsenal wins, 6 home, 3 away. So it's not looking too bad for us. There's a good chance. Bournemouth just don't like playing us. These are the recent meetings. Last 2 at the Vitality was a 3-0 to the Arsenal and a 1-1. And then obviously we just beat them at home anyway. And also their form. Our form isn't the greatest. However, we haven't lost. Bournemouth have lost away to Brighton. They drew at Chelsea, which, to be fair, everyone can pretty much do at the moment. Drew away at Brentford. Lost at home to Tottenham. Don't know why that says Liverpool Est. Don't know what happened there. I must have just... to be fair, sometimes I just think I just type more than I need to. But yeah, so that is that. Let's get into the injury list. So this is the injury list. Obviously, it's 50-50 for both teams, to be fair. Partey's definitely out. Timber's definitely out. Martinelli is a doubt. Trossard is a doubt. Rice is a doubt. Rice one's concerning me a little bit because it sounds very similar to what happens to Saliba.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm slightly concerned this could drag on for quite a while. And Saka is a doubt. Saliba is 25% doubt, so that's why he's not on there. And that means that G can pick him, but there's no picking those 6 players for Arsenal tonight. Go on to Bournemouth. You got Fredericks, he's out. Again, like I said, not a big miss. Alex Scott is a big miss. I think he is a great signing for Bournemouth. Brilliant midfielder. Marcondes, otherwise known as Emiliano. Lloyd Kelly, Metham, which is a centre-back, and Solanke is a doubt for Bournemouth. So yeah, it's looking interesting. Let's get into the comments before my 5 to watch. Let's just see what everyone's saying. Everyone talking to themselves, so I'll skip those. Please do favour by winning against Bournemouth so that our brothers Chelsea can gain advantage in 6-pointer situation against Bournemouth in relegation battle. Oh, I love it, Jordy. I have one bad memory for Bournemouth away. It's Giroud doing that stupid celebration at 3-3 instead of picking the ball up and running back to the centre circle. Yeah, that just annoys the heck out of me. I bet those player against City. Bet those player against City.
I think he means I bet those players play against City. So the players that are a doubt. I think that's what Tony means. I think.
Fingers crossed. It's a case of fingers crossed because they are the players we need, especially Declan, if I'm honest. Is a big miss. Lens have had a poor start to the season, having lost to newly promoted Metz, Brest, PSG, and Monaco. Although they did win their last game versus Toulouse, I think. Yeah, I think they did win their last game. But yeah, RC Lon, they let a lot of their big players go in the summer, which is why Tony said to me he's going to struggle doing that challenge because last season would have been easy for him. This season,
it always happens with the French sides, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like the Monacos and that, they have a brilliant season and then they just get absolutely poached for all their talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens
right.
every time.
Yeah, let's get into my 5 to watch.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be.
Okay, so we're going to start with the midfielder Lewis Cook. Honestly, he's like Ronsil. He just does a really good job. You don't really notice him sometimes. He's just hard working. He's my type of midfielder. Marcus Tavernier, interesting signing from Middlesbrough. He's to be fair, he's kicked on quite well. He is the younger brother of James Tavernier, for people that don't know. But yeah, he's hard working, decent little midfielder. Philip Billing. He's just so good. I'm surprised he's still at Bournemouth, if I'm honest. He's so talented. Justin Kluivert, you all know his dad.
Yeah.
I'd say he's got 50% of the talent of his dad. He's good. I think he's got the ability to get a little bit better. But so far, yeah, it's about 50% of his dad at the moment. His dad I absolutely loved. And Semenyo. Now, for this guy, he came up from the Championship. Such a hard-working forward. I'm shocked that it hasn't worked out for him yet because honestly, he works so hard. He's like our version of Jesus, constantly working.
Yeah, every time I've seen him, I've liked him. I like the look of him.
But
he just doesn't seem to be able to get the goals yet.
Yeah, but honestly, at Championship level, I know it's Championship level. It wasn't a problem, but yeah, he's just struggling with the goals.
Hopefully it clicks.
Yeah,
it's not tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they are my 5 to watch. Obviously, now we're going to move on to people's lineups. Right, so we're going to start with G's, and he's not scoring it because I'm not having no 10s tonight. Not having that. So G, it's your team, also chosen by Nicholas, Richard, and Mehmet as well. But G, go ahead, talk about your team, mate.
Right. So, I mean, I picked this side with a view that a lot of the players that are obviously, not fit or doubts, I just can't see them making it. The Saliba information came a bit too late, so I couldn't really think about that one. But I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that right now Raya is our number one. Personally, I think that was even confirmed more so that Ramsdale started in the cup game against Brentford. So I think going against anything other than that really at this precise moment in time, I think is just kind of silly. Ray is the number one. I think Arteta's made that clear. I wasn't massively impressed with him against Spurs, if I'm completely honest. Not so much how I was impressed with him in the game he started before that. Having said that, he did show some amazing footwork and an amazing save in that game to keep one of the chances out. So, but I just wasn't very impressed with his distribution in the Spurs game, particularly in the latter part of the game. It just seemed to not be at the level we expect. So I'm going to pick him. I think the back four for me, if Saliba's fit, picks itself. White at right back, Saliba and Gabriel, and then obviously Zinchenko. I noticed Zinchenko's got a bit of a tan.
I don't know. Sorry, look, I have to rush some of these. So
it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, Zinchenko just back from the Canary Islands with a bit of a tan. Starts in at left back. In terms of the DM position, I mean, Partey's out, and I don't think Rice will make it personally. So for me, there was a temptation to pick El Nene. I know people might think I'm crazy, but I was half tempted to pick him. But I think that was just based on recency bias of the fact that Jorginho gave away the ball that made us concede a goal against Spurs. I think and I know it's a big mistake, people. I know it's a big mistake, but outside of that mistake, I think he's had a really good career at Arsenal thus far. I think he's come in. I think he's done a very good job deputising for Partey back in the last season. And he has had very limited minutes this season so far because it's been Partey and Rice. And when it hasn't been, he's now obviously thrown into the middle, and he hasn't had really much minutes in pre-season or so far since the season started. But I would still class him as our best our third best number 6. If Rice or Partey is not in the side, he would be my go-to. So that's why I'm sticking with him. Plus, he was better against Brentford, obviously, than he was against Spurs. And it's probably just because, he's getting a bit of more regular minutes. Odegaard, for me, is a no-brainer in the number 10 position. He pulls all the strings. Not when he has a bad game, but when he's not quite at his best, we're not quite at our best. He's so crucial to how we play. If he plays well, we play well. Which is why another thing, as people were very, very heavily critical of him in the Spurs match. And I mean, it wasn't his best game, but I mean, in terms of like him playing, it was probably his first mediocre game in like forever. It's going to happen. There are going to be days like that. Havertz, I'm going to start in the number left midfield 8 position. I was tempted to kind of put ESR here, having got some minutes, and I was also tempted to stick with Vieira as well. But I think if anything Bournemouth might bring to the table, it might be a bit of a scrap. And I just think out of all our left centre mid options, of those that are fit, Havertz is physical. He is more of a physical player, in my opinion, than Vieira. He's physically bigger, stronger. And something I've seen, and I've noticed a lot since he joined the club, is just how much ground he does cover. Now, I know people say, look, we bought him for assists, we bought him for goals. Nevertheless, he is still providing a really good, he is doing a good job in there in terms of the ground he does cover across the 90 minutes. So that's why I'm putting him in there. Just a little bit more combative than some of the other midfield options we've got at the moment. My front three might surprise people, but I can't see Martinelli and Trossard are both out. And I can't see Saka making it. I think Nelson is our second choice right wing. He got a goal, so confidence will be high. So I don't see why he can't start 2 games in a row in a couple of games. ESR got some minutes against Brentford, so I'm going to go with him on the left-hand side. And for me personally, I know a lot of people like him in midfield. I really like him out on the left. I think the season when he had his best season and his best stats, he was playing off the left of a front three. He was absolutely phenomenal. He actually outscored and I think out-assisted Saka that season. He was phenomenal. That was the season before he got injured. The season we finished 5th, just outside the top 4. Loved him playing in off the left. So I think he'd be absolutely electric in that position. And then obviously Jesus up front. I've not been massively impressed with Eddie over the last 2 games. I thought he was relatively poor against Spurs, and I thought he was anonymous for a lot of the game against Brentford as well. So as much as I was absolutely livid with Jesus' miss against Spurs, he's just that player in terms of our forward players. And for me, he's our best option at centre forward because he makes things happen. He presses, he causes absolute chaos. He just needs to breathe and pick his spot a little bit better in those moments. Yeah. But other than that, that's my team and that's the rationale behind it.
Yeah. I apologise that Zinchenko looks very much like Lino Sousa. Look, as you probably know, I do all this myself, and some days I have more time than others, and today was a bit of a rush. The last team I got in today was 5 o'clock. I really think I need to cut off a bit of time from when I get these teams. There's so many people choose their teams and just send it to me, and I'm like, okay, quickly. I normally wait till the last team to then create it. So then I do apologise that Zinchenko looks very much like Lino Sousa. That probably does give you an inkling that Lino Sousa has been picked tonight because he has.
Yeah. Quick note, I will say, if Saliba doesn't make it, because when I picked this, I think it was yesterday or the day before, if he doesn't make it, I'd switch Ben Wright in his position and play Tommy.
Oh, God. Right, okay. Okay, right. I'm going to give that team an 8. What you've just come out with, 6. I'll be honest. I think we've got to admit that Ben White is not comfortable enough to be a centre-back for me. He is more likely to cause an issue than not cause an issue. And look, he works brilliantly. And this is me saying how good he is as a right-back. He's fantastic as a right-back. Centre-back, he concerns me. So I would put Tommy there, which I know some people have.
Tommy's a solid centre-back option.
And
that's true.
He knows he can do it, and he does it.
He was brilliant very well. Brentford.
Yeah, and exactly, he was very good against Brentford. So I would do that, or and I don't particularly like it because it's two left footers. But look,
I don't like that.
We grew up in the 80s and 90s where there was always two right footers or two left footers. It didn't really matter. But nowadays it kind of matters, especially under Arteta. I'd bring Kivior in.
We got some brilliant centre back cover. You know,
this is the thing.
We got some really good options at centre back.
This is why I don't want to take Ben White out of his.
I agree. Actually,
you know what I mean. That's the bit that really kind of
doesn't
really anger me. But it's like Ben White is a very good right back.
I get it.
Right back. So don't put him away from his best position. Where Tommy, that's not his best position in my opinion, right back. So you're kind of making two weaker players. I'm
actually surprised that quite a few, like 3 other people went with that lineup. When I chose it, I didn't actually think it would be that popular. I thought I would probably be one of the only people to have picked it.
Yours came in last night. Nicholas and Richard and Mehmet all chose theirs this morning. They all have half an hour to go away with their little notepads and write down their teams. It's quite cute sometimes, I have to admit. But yeah, they all wrote their teams, and it was the same as yours. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But we have got 9 teams tonight, so there are quite a few different options. So yeah, your team I'm actually giving an 8. I'm not going to let G pick it because he just likes to give himself a 10. Look, he's a beautiful man. He is a 10 anyway, but when it comes to his teams, no, not happening. Don't do 10s on it. Senesi, so he's going back to the 5 to watch. Yeah, Senesi is a very good defender. Look, to be fair, I didn't struggle this week on the Bournemouth team. It was a case of who do I have to miss out? I can only have 5. It's part of the rules. So yeah, Senesi is a very good centre back. It is again surprising that he went to Bournemouth. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but he is a very good defender. And that Sabarini, Ukrainian, very, very good. Very good as well. He's actually part of the challenge team tonight. So yeah, he's actually been selected. If memory serves me right, Bournemouth did shut up shop versus Chelsea and get a 0-0 draw. Also glad that Dave Brooks is healthy and playing well for them. Yeah. Couldn't agree more about David Brooks. Absolutely fantastic to see him. G should be disqualified for picking injured players.
I think that's the
But to be fair, he is 25% doubt. So
yeah, that's what I mean. So Tony, listen. Don't try it, Tony.
I allow this. And to be fair, a lot of people pick their teams before they even know anything. So yeah, there is a team with an actual player that's actually out. No, there's 2, 3. I'm just quickly looking through them over there. 3 teams that have actually got players that are actually out.
Oh, man, look what Tony's gone and said.
I don't know yet. I'm not down there yet. I thought Raya was poor against Spurs. Ramsdale played well against Brentford, so he gets the gloves for tomorrow for me. Absolutely no. Look, for me, it is a case of who has the better last game. Raya, obviously Arteta didn't feel, or he just wanted to swap him over anyway. But yeah, for me, Raya wasn't that great against Tottenham. So maybe Ramsdale came in for that. Ramsdale was good against Brentford. So Ramsdale, in my opinion, should start against Bournemouth tomorrow. But I'm not the manager, so it's not my decision. Even without your key players, I expect you to win. I kind of expect us to win too. Raya hasn't put a foot wrong so far and looks better on the ball than Ramsdale. If Arteta continues to pick him, Aaron may well want to leave in January or the summer. As I keep saying, I speak to Anarchy quite a lot, and there is no issues, absolutely no issues between Aaron and Raya at all. I can't see there being an issue. I think we'll be okay. I think they'll both stay, and I think they'll both work out that they'll probably play half the season each, in my opinion. If that's a good idea, I don't know. Probably not. But It's what Arteta wanted, and that's what he's got. Should have kept Rep Hold, says Tony. Oh, Tony. He's missing him. He's missing him.
You can't even get in the Palace side, bro, mate.
Yeah, Tony, I totally agree. Ben right back, always. Yeah, always. Should never be moved. G7 for only playing with 10 minutes.
Literally. Tony just got it in for me, you know.
Yeah. Lee Gunner Bingo. He complains about Jorginho, Havertz, Nelson, Smith Rowe. Yeah. Mate. Yeah, I don't get that guy's problem, if I'm honest. But there we go. Let's move on to the next team. So the next just ratings now, G. So this was chosen by, and this is actually Zinchenko, not Sousa now. So to be fair, Lino Sousa might just crop up in a squad again, even though it's not meant to be there. So this was the next team: Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, El Neni, Havertz, Odegaard, Nelson, Trossard, who's obviously out, but it doesn't matter, and Jesus. This was chosen by Zaina and Miguel. So just a rating for that one, please, G.
I mean, I like the goalkeeper back for. I'd give it a 7.
Give it a 7. Awesome stuff. Right, let's move on to the next team, chosen by Canners and Stewart. See, there we go. Lino Sousa's back, even though he's not meant to be. Right, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and Jesus. Just a rating for that one, please, mate.
I mean, yeah, if this is the lineup, if it's possible, I think it's a really good one. I'll have to give that at least an 8. Yeah, that's an 8 lineup.
Yeah, there's no way that Trossard's playing.
No,
he's not trained all week. But to be fair, look, a lot of people don't listen to the rumours, which is fair enough. It's absolutely fine. Don't get to listen to the press conference, again, fair enough. So yeah, people will select people that are injured. Trossard has not trained at all, so there is, for me, 0 chance.
Yeah,
he's down as a doubt, and that's what I've been told. He's a doubt. He's not out, but he's a doubt. But for me, that's out. If you haven't trained, you're out. Right. Big up to Ben. Oh, see, Lino. Sorry, Melino. Lino's getting so much publicity tonight. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Trossard, Nelson, and Jesus. This was chosen by Ben, Tim, Brenny K, Brezzy, and John. Rating for this one, please, mate.
I mean, I like it, but I would, if it was up to me, I'd put. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I'd put Nelson on the right and Trossard on the left. Okay. However, yeah, I can't see it happening just because of injuries. But having said that, again, I'd say it's a really good side. So I'd give it an 8.
Okay, awesome stuff. Let's move on to the next team, chosen by Luke and Cameron. We've got Zinchenko back. Awesome. Ramsdale, White, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Kozia, Dewberry, Nelson, and Jesus. This one's actually my favourite, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I like this. I like this, especially where they've gone with obviously Tomiyasu at the back. Yeah. ESR's in there as well. Nelson. Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8 as well, though.
Yeah. See, the reason I like it is obviously I'd love to have Rice. I'd love to have everyone back. And
were you surprised that Dewberry didn't start against Brentford?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that Charles did, because I've heard very good things about what he's been doing in the under-21s. But I am surprised Kozia didn't.
Yeah, same.
Because for me, he is.
Because for me, he was ahead. Of Charles. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like,
because it confused me more because again, Charles played on the right.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
his best position is actually on the left. So
again, and then Dewberry seemed like in terms of the pecking order, he was ahead of all the kind of young players coming through. But then,
so whether or not it's a fitness thing,
maybe
they do play a lot less consistent in the under-21s, and Kozia does play a lot. In fairness to Kozia, so maybe it's a fitness thing. Maybe Arteta said to him, "I'm going to give you 30 minutes," but because the game wasn't going the way that Arteta planned it, either way, like if we were losing or winning by more of a comfortable margin, he might have given him 30 minutes. But look, what I don't want to see is Kozia getting itchy feet thinking, "Oh, I'm never going to get my chance. Never going to get my chance." Because
he will get his chance.
I hope so.
I think he will. He will get his chance.
Yeah,
I think one of the worst things he could do is to leave Arsenal.
Yeah, what we got to do is look at Armoury.
Exactly. That was such a bad decision, man.
Yeah, he's at the worst club in the whole world now. Ipswich Town. It's just the worst club in the world. But that's just me being a Colchester fan. But look, Armoury, you chose your path. You chose Chelsea over us. Look, I kind of get it in a little way, but you've made the wrong decision, in my opinion.
He would have just been better off leaving Arsenal and going to another club where he could have got minutes rather than.
Yeah.
Chelsea are renowned for. I mean, I know their transfer strategy at the moment, they seem to just be buying up every single young talent, but I don't think it's with a view of playing them. I think it's with a view of sending them out on loan and making a profit off them. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, it is.
They've done it for years now, Chelsea. They pick up young talent, they loan out most of their squad, and then they end up selling for quite decent money. And I think that's what they're doing again. So, it was a poor decision from him and his team, in my opinion.
Well, exactly. I'm going to put his team in there because it's probably just not Armoury's decision. It's his team as well.
Yeah, it's his team. Yeah, people around him. He's a young man, isn't it? So
badly advised.
He needs to be guided.
Yeah, because personally, if I was Armoury, I would have stayed, done what a Charlie Patino's done.
Yeah,
go out on loan somewhere nice. Charlie's kicking on now at Swansea.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that he's going to stay at Arsenal.
Yeah, but he's doing all right, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing all right.
He's doing all right at Swansea.
And we were very close to losing him.
Mm-hmm.
So, so far, so good with Charlie. Let's move on to the next team chosen by the Silva One, Josh and Albert. Now, Tony obviously changed this. He had one last night and changed it since the injuries. So he's gone with Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Cini, Elneny, Havertz, Odegaard, Kozier, Nelson, and Jesus.
I'm going to be a little bit harsh on this one and give it a 7.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hated the fact that if he just swapped Tommy and White, I would have been a bit happier. Elneny, to be honest, I don't know why we're not picking Jorginho over.
Yeah, that's what the big thing for me was Jorginho.
Yeah.
I mean, Jorginho should not be behind Elneny in terms of the pecking order for me. The other team I gave 7 had Elneny in the DM position as well.
Yeah, I'd rather see Lewis Skelly in there.
No
offense to Mo, but
I love Elneny, but
I
don't think he should with the 3 number 6s and the DMs we've got. With the 3 DMs that we have,
you just see the same message.
I've seen it. With the 3 DMs that we've got in the shape of Partey, Rice, and Jorginho, I don't think Elneny should get anywhere near this team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Silva.
Yeah, I know we're off his Christmas card list. I'm sorry, Tony, but it wasn't great for me personally. But there we go. This one was chosen by Chak and Carlos. Sousa is actually in this. That is actual Sousa. Jeez. Raya, White, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Lino, Sousa, Elneny, Havertz, Odegaard, Koji, Dubry, Nelson, and Jesus. Again, I don't know why they've picked Mo, but must be.
I'm gonna be really critical, man, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna give this a 6.
Nah, no worries, mate.
Apologies.
I'm the one that has to pass on the numbers. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I mean, Mo was a 7, but with Zinchenko fit, with Tommy fit, I just wouldn't play Sosa at present. And that's what, with those 2 decisions, that's what takes it down to a 6 for me.
Yeah, well, this will be interesting. Right, Jonas has gone for something very different. Ramsdale, White, Waters, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Havertz on the right, Nelson on the left, and Jesus up front. Now, in fairness, Havertz has played on the right for Leverkusen.
Yeah, he has.
Very, very well.
Yeah, when he was at Leverkusen, he played brilliantly in that position.
Yeah,
I was even tempted to potentially put him there, but I just thought with Nelson getting a goal against Brentford, I thought momentum would be good, for him to stick in the side. And I prefer Nelson on the right than the left, personally.
Yeah.
Having said that, I mean, I do like this team. I think it's all right. I mean, Walters for me is a risk at centre back, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
That's the only glaring selection for this team. I think otherwise for this team, I'd comfortably give it an 8. But with Walters in there, when you've got, I mean, that's basically saying if you start, say Saliba's out and you start Walters, you're starting Walters over Tomiyasu and Kivior.
Yeah.
And I genuinely cannot see that happening. But because of the rest of it is so good, I'll still give it a 7. It would have got an 8, even a 9, because for me it's a very good side. But the Walters thing for me, I mean, you know, if you're Kivior, you're Tomiyasu, and Walters gets the nod ahead of you in a Premier League game, having not started at all this season.
Yeah,
I think that would raise more than a few eyebrows.
True. Right, let's move on to the final squad chosen by Moss. Moss was the last person in with his squad, but you can tell he's from Canada. Right, so Moss went with Raya, White, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Havertz on the right again, Nelson on the left, and Jesus.
Yeah, he's picked a good side, I think. He's picked the same goalkeeper as me. He's picked the same back four as me, other than Tommy, which I think if Saliba's out, I think Tommy probably will get the nod ahead of Kivior or Ben White being there. The midfield is the same as mine. And he's just gone for Havertz instead of ESR. Okay. So he's just, I went with Havertz in the midfield and ESR up top, but he's done the opposite. I think it's a good side. I think, I'll give it an 8 as well.
There you go. Right, and the final one, who loves to put his team in the chat, so I've kept it, Mr. Tony Fulbrook. He says, my team, which is a 10, he's gone for Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Tommy, Zinni, Jorginho, Odegaard, Havertz, Nketiah on the left, Jesus, Nelson on the right. What are you going to give Tony's? And be kind, G, just because he likes to give you belters.
Ramsdale, goalkeeper, White, Gabriel, Tommy, Zinni. Good back four, good goalkeeper. Jorginho, he went with me. Odegaard and Havertz in midfield, and Nketiah on the left. All right, Tony, I'll give you a 9, mate.
There you go.
There you go. That's a good side. It's a good side.
Yeah, it makes sense as well.
Yeah,
it does make sense. Right, so before we go in the challenge, which G is so looking forward to, not giving me any excuses in the group WhatsApp whatsoever. Right, let's go back. G, wait till you see mine. Look, Tony, you got a very good score.
No, it's a good team. Good team, Tony.
Big up to Gooner forever. Part of a manager's job is adjusting to injuries. I'm not sure Arteta is great at that. Every season and performances under him has collapsed whenever a few players are missing. I think that could be saying for any club.
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean to the manager, but yes, he does need to improve on that type of area. However, obviously we've lost O'Driscoll. He's now at United. We haven't replaced him, which is a bit of a concern, but we have got a very good medical team anyway without O'Driscoll, and O'Driscoll was doing some weird stuff. It is tricky. For some reason, and to be honest, this is not just happening in football. I've noticed it in NFL because obviously I'm getting into NFL because Tony and Moss all love it and Luke does as well. I'm noticing so many injuries already in the start of their season. I'm like, what's going on? Everyone's just getting injured. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Tony's up in your score to an 8. There you go.
Thank you, Tony.
You two
I'm feeling the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Not so much from Tony, though. And the other,
exactly. But G's not going to feel the love from me now because it's challenge time. Okay, so for people that are new to this, this is how it works. You got to have 5 players from Bournemouth. They've got to be fit. They can't be out. They can't be loaned out. Moss. I will never forget him trying to pick Lukaku when he was at Inter Milan because he was part of the Chelsea team. Like seriously. But also, you got to go for the home formation. Now, obviously, it's a big change this week. It's a 4-2-3-1 formation. It's Bournemouth formation. That Bournemouth people that take part in this challenge are the ones that decide this. It's not down to me. It's down to them guys. So that's what they've agreed to. So, yes, it's a new look. It's the one I'm starting to use. It's a lot better than the other one I use. Right, G.
Yeah.
5 Bournemouth players. I will let you know if you pick one that is out, just to help.
Okay. Let's go with the young centre back. Oh, not the young centre back. The Argentinian Senesi.
Okay. Hang on. How do you spell his name?
Sene. It should be.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Something you weren't coming up. There we go. So your second Bournemouth player, please.
Let's go with midfield Lewis Cook. Yeah.
Lewis Cook. Cool. Your third player, please, mate.
Oof. Let's go with, might be an unpopular opinion, but I've always liked him personally. Let's go with Max Aarons at right back.
Okay.
There was a time when I actually really wanted us to sign him from Norwich.
Yeah, so did I. Your fourth Bournemouth player.
Oh, it's starting to get tough now. He's a player that I don't think he's out, but he's a player that I actually took a real fancy to before he signed for Bournemouth. It's a Colombian international, Sinistera.
Okay. Do you want to put him on the right or the left?
I know we can play both.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put him on the left just because of our left forward situation at the moment.
Yeah. There you go.
He's not hit the ground running at Bournemouth yet. He really hasn't. At the same time, I remember during the summer when they signed him, he was one of the wingers that I really like the look of. I just think some players, they either don't make it in the Prem or they just take a little longer. I know he's had a couple of injuries, but I got to be honest, before he signed for Bournemouth, I really, really liked him. He had his numbers in the Dutch league before he signed for Bournemouth were brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. He was scoring for fun. I'd give him a run out.
Fifth and final player.
I'm going to have to go. I mean, let's go with the right-sided Tavernier.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really tempted to go with the goalkeeper, but no, I'm going to go with Tavernier.
Right, they're in now. Right. Goalkeeper, who are you having, Ramsdale or Raya?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Raya.
Okay. Left back.
Zinchenko.
Final centre back, and you can pick Saliba.
I'm going to pick Saliba.
Okay. He might not play tomorrow, but he's 25, so I'm allowed him. Right. The final defensive midfielder type.
So I can't pick Partey and I can't pick Rice, can I?
No.
So it's going to be Jorginho.
Okay. We're going to start with a striker. Who do you want?
I'm going to go Jesus.
Okay. And your final attacking type midfielder
is going to be Odegaard.
Yeah, also. There we go.
That's the best I can do, man.
Right. So this is G's team. We've got Raya in goal, Aarons, Saliba, Senesi, Zinchenko, Lewis Cook, Jorginho, Tavernier on the right, Odegaard, Sinistera, and Jesus. Now I'm going to give that a rating because he's up against 3 people tonight, not just 2.
I don't expect to win, but that's the best I could do, man.
I'm going to give that a rating out of 10. I quite like it. There's no weaknesses. You haven't picked it. The only question mark I have, and I'm sorry, I'm going to stick with this, but Zinchenko is not the greatest defender. However, there's no other real good options for you to pick, if I'm honest. So I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give you an 8.
Thank you.
So that's your score. Right, let's get into the other 2 now. I need to change the screen, put that on there. I'm going to have to zoom it in because Tony put his team in, I had to try and fit them all in one page. Right, so this is Tony's, the Silva One, for people that don't know who Tony is. Raya in goal, Ben White, Senesi, Gabriel Zinchenko, Lewis Cook, Tyler Adams, Cliver on the right, Odegaard, Traore, and Jesus. I like that. I like that a lot. But against Zinchenko, I can't give him more than 8 because of the same reason of you. And so
I was tempted to pick Cliver. I like Cliver.
I like Cliver.
Not as good as he's died, but I do like him.
We'll start ladies first. So we'll go to Elizabeth next. So she's gone with Ramsdale. Unsurprising, the Bournemouth players, the people speak to Ramsdale in goal. Ben White, Sabani, I think that's how you say his name. Saliba, Kirkez, Cook, Jorginho, Ryan Christie, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Semenyo. Now, because she's picked a Celtic player, she gets a 7.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Tony's one edges that team.
Yeah, so she gets a 7. Big up to Elizabeth for taking part. Now, move on to Bill. Bill. I like this team.
Yeah, it's a good side.
Ramsdale in goal. Aaron, Saliba, Senesi, Sinchenko, Cook, Jorginho, Odegaard, Billing. I like Billing. I like Smith Rowe there.
I don't like Odegaard there though.
Yeah, true.
I really
think
don't
he could do it. He does play on the right quite a lot. If you look at his heat map, he does push out a little bit on the right. So he helps Saka out a lot.
And Tony's got Jesus up top though. That's a tough one.
This is tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Apart from Elizabeth. So Bill gets an 8 as well. So that's not really helped me doing the scores. Right. Okay. Right. This is tough.
Because I personally, I know you're choosing, but my personal opinion is Bill's for me is not better than Tony's.
Yeah.
I think the most you could give it is an 8. I say they're pretty close.
Yeah,
but for me,
I'm gonna have to go with Tony.
Yeah, for me, Tony's team just edges it,
and I'll tell you why. It's because you've gone for Kluivert. I know he hasn't hit the world a light yet, but honestly, it's the name. I loved typing it in today. I'm blessed to watch. I was like, Kluivert just made me smile. Obviously, everyone knows I'm an Ajax fan as well, so yeah, he made my life smile, and he went to AC Milan as well. So yeah, I got to enjoy him quite a lot. Right, let's see what's been happening whilst we were doing that. It's the poopy internationals which are causing more injuries. I don't know what it is. I don't think I want to blame the internationals, if I'm honest. I just don't know what it is. It's happening all over sport.
Well, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Eric Ten Hag's moaning at the moment, because he does seem to be doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna lie, Man United are really going through the mill at the moment. They are. Yeah. I've got a couple of Man United fans that are friends, and as much as I like to see them in the mud, they've got so much going on off the pitch, so much going wrong on the pitch. At the same time, I mean, I don't think you can look far beyond the amount of games footballers now play. I don't think you can. Yeah, I really don't. I mean, obviously, it's a physical sport. You're going to get injuries if you do anything. Whether you go to the gym, whether you're a runner, whether you're a sprinter, whatever you do in athletics, you're going to get injured at some stage. Because you're putting a huge amount of strain. The body under a lot of strain. You're going to get injuries. But I think the amount footballers play, it's going up every single season. And you just have to look at somebody like Saka, who, has obviously broken a record and made 86, appearances in a row. Like, that's absolutely insane when you actually think about it. Yeah. So I don't really know what it is, but I don't think you can look much further than the amount of games footballers do play now.
But like I said, it obviously getting into a new sport. It's new to me. I literally just watch it sometimes just for the fun of it, but now I'm getting into it a little bit more. NFL, there's just constant injuries, game after game. They only play one game a week, and I'm just starting to think: is there something that we're all missing about it? Is it the diet? Because they're all on these new diets that created. Let's be honest, they are newly created. Back in the day, it was eat pretty much what you want, go and play football. Do what you want after.
You know what I mean? Like you got Arsenal players having pints before games and still managing to never be injured. And then now it's like we've got these footballers living under an absolute microscope in terms of like what they're putting inside their bodies, and they all seem to be made out of glass. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like you got Timber, fantastic injury record, comes to Arsenal out for most of the season. Rice, never on the sidelines. He's injured. Partey's record at Atletico Madrid was near flawless. Comes to Arsenal, same issue. So, I mean, I really don't know what it is. Like, obviously, I'm no scientist, I'm no football expert, but the only thing I can say or I can think of that makes sense is the amount of games they play, and also the level of competitiveness. You know, like when you actually. So I said that to somebody the other day, and they was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, if you actually think back to the Premier League and you think back." Like back in the day when, you know, Arsenal, Man United were going at it toe to toe. I wouldn't say the level of competitiveness outside of the top two sides was that great. Yes, you could lose to anybody in the Premier League, but Arsenal, Man United and stuff, when we were competing for titles, you go into most of those games and most of them were 3-point bankers. A lot of teams would come out and they just roll over. Whereas now you look at the Premier League and I mean, that gap, the level of competitiveness, you know, in the top like 8 sides in the Premier League now, you know, City are out there, obviously, you know, but at the top by themselves. But other than that, you know, the next kind of 6, 7, 8 teams, anybody can beat anybody, and then you've always got other teams that can just, you know, surprise. I think that if you combine the amount of games we play with I think the gap in terms of quality has been bridged a lot between the top sides and say the bottom half of the table sides. And I think that is going to have an impact because if you're playing, you know, the likes of Brighton and Brentford, you know, you go back 10, 15 years, the equivalent of those teams, you just turn up and beat them. Whereas now that competitiveness has just gone up a notch. And so, I think it's a combination of the two, but maybe there is a bit of science behind it, but apparently, you know, the science is on point, and apparently all these things that they're having to do and not eat and eat is supposed to make them stronger and more durable. But it just seems to be having. I mean, we're only in game week 6, and we've got potentially, you know, 6 or 7 first team players out the squad. It's nuts, really.
Yeah, it is.
We ain't even got going yet.
No, and when you look at Bournemouth's, they've got the same issue. We had Brentford; they've got the same. They had quite a lot out as well. It's not. It's just not just our team. So it's not like
Man United.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing. 'Cause I've seen Arsenal fans saying it's to do with us. It's
Man
not.
United's
every club.
injury list is atrocious.
It's something's got to be looked into because it's just
100%.
not normal. It's not.
100%. Not for this early in the season as well.
No, not this early. Big up to Moss. Hit the thumbs up, and I'm well behind in the show while at the office. No worries, mate. Said Rice and Sack. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, they're doubts. So you know, those players will travel. Trossard, I don't believe he might have travelled like to be a cheerleader or whatever, but Rice and Saka probably have travelled, but I'm slightly more concerned about the Rice one because what I've heard is very similar to Saliba. And I'm hoping that changes, but we'll wait and see.
That was lined up to be a game-changing signing. So being without him for anything more than 1 or 2 games is going to be an absolute nightmare.
It is. Tony took part of the challenge. He picked Neto. Fredericks. Unfortunately, Fredericks is someone you couldn't pick because he's out injured, but good try anyway. Gabriel, Tommy, Zinni, Billing, Odegaard, Kluivert, Sinestra, Jesus and Havertz. Good team, mate. Apart from you picked Fredericks, so you would have been unfortunately failed. Unfortunately, look, my rules are quite harsh. I do apologise, but unfortunately, would have failed because you picked Fredericks. He is out for definite. Most of us are in the middle somewhere. Oh, okay. He's talking about the toxic, negative and positive fans. Good on you guys. Thank you, boss. Big up to Temiola saying, Ebning, everyone. I hope we smack RC Luns and dominate our group. Yeah, well, I want us to get 4 wins very, very quickly. So then the last 2 games, we can kind of rest some players, if I'm honest. Give Cozy a bit of a chance, give a couple of youngsters a chance. Because once you've got first done, I see no issue in just resting some players at all. I don't care if we get beaten at the last 2 games, if I'm honest. Either way, Eddie Sonogo's what? Which music game?
I think he's calling him Eddie Sonogo, isn't it?
He's not that bad. I like Eddie, but I do believe I think he's coming to the end of his Arsenal career.
100%. I said I had this conversation the other day, and I said I think Arteta came under a lot of scrutiny and the microscope with regards to extending Nelson and Eddie's contracts. But I genuinely believe he extended both of them with a view of replacing them and getting money for both those players. I genuinely believe that. Like, because at the end of the day, you know, we can bang on and say, oh, Arteta doesn't know what he's doing. You know, he extended Eddie, extended Nelson. But at the same time, we are a business. We are a business. And the same fans who would say, why are we extending Eddie, would criticize the club if we let him walk out of the door for nothing. The same with Nelson. Now, I don't personally rate Eddie or Nelson that high. I think they are players that need to be replaced and upgraded in the squad. At the same time, if we end up selling Eddie for 15 million minimum, and we end up selling Nelson for 10 million or say 8 million minimum, that's, you know, anywhere from like 20, 30, 40 million plus that would have just walked out the door. Some are gone. So it's like Rome wasn't built in a day, innit? It's like if you're overhauling a squad, which is what Arteta has done since he's been at Arsenal, that does take time. So I genuinely believe that Eddie and Nelson come next summer will be sold, personally.
Yeah. Look, I know G didn't mean to do this, but it's not Arteta that decides this. It's Edu and Richard. So I'm going to give up big ups to Edu and Richard on this because they are the ones that are protecting the sustainability of the club.
Yeah, it has to be done. Yeah, I don't know how the hierarchy and the intel and all that works, but for me, it just makes sense. You can't allow, you know, at the end of the day, these footballers, this our club and we love them and we're fans, but they're assets.
Yeah,
exactly. They are assets.
Yeah.
You can't just let an asset of any value just walk out the door for free if you can help it. If it means extending them, getting them under contract, and then getting market value for them, or even below market value. Yeah. But below market value is better than nothing, you know? And we are a business and we want to be a self-sustaining business. So if we want to be self-sustaining, we've got to get money for our assets. We have to. It's crazy to let 30 million walk out the door for free.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Eddie, I'm just quickly looking up. Eddie's worth minimum 20 million.
Yeah.
Quickly look up Nelson as well whilst I'm on it.
I'd say Nelson would easily get at least 8.
Nelson's market value is around 11 million. So
that's what I'm saying. That's to imagine 31 million just walking out the door. Like you know. So I get Arsenal fans' frustration for extending their contracts, but if it means a year later 31 million comes through the door, that goes towards a new signing. Yeah, exactly. Somebody that, you know, can come in and improve the side. So I get both sides of the argument personally.
I think Moss is talking about what we were talking about with the Kai and what I was talking about, the Kai and Odegaard situation. I just think that if they just change their roles a little bit, I know that you're saying Odegaard's a box to box. Currently, I'd say he's more the attacking midfielder from what I've seen, and Brenny agreed with me on this. And I think if they just switch roles a little bit, I think you'll see an improvement in Kai. That's what I've recognised. I don't think Odegaard is being the box to box at the moment. I think he's being the more attacking midfielder, where I think Kai is kind of in the middle at the moment. He's not being the box to box. He's not being the attacking midfielder. He's being the central midfielder, which I know he can't do. So. Yeah, I think just switch the roles a little bit. Odegaard just pull back and let Kai do some of his job. I think we'll see better from Kai, if I'm honest. It's not me having to go at Odegaard. It's just I think if you just switch the two a little bit, I think we might see a little bit of improvement. More offensive, what's that? Yeah, 100%. Tottenham fans, Tottenham footballers don't play much, to be honest. Yeah, I actually had a conversation with a Tottenham fan earlier. We were talking about stuff that we do on stream and stuff like that, and I said that he's recording Emmerdale and EastEnders for me for when we get knocked out of the Champions League, and I like and obviously I had him on the show last week, and obviously the big question was the update on EastEnders and Emmerdale. It's very important to me because obviously they've got time to watch this amazing soaps whilst we're actually enjoying football. But yeah, big up to Dermot anyway. Teams used to pull players out with slight injuries but don't seem that now. No, they don't. Barca, okay, so talk about other games. Chris Welch is going for a prediction. Yes, please do get your predictions in. We'll get to those very shortly. Just quickly want to go through the comments because you know how much I love to go through the comments of everybody. Great show, guys, from the winner, says Tony. You're right, G. That's exactly why they got new contracts. Tony's happy because he's seen he's won the challenge. It was very well done by everybody, to be fair. It was a tricky one this week with so many out. The Silva One, Bobby harshly disqualified me. I do say it is no injured players, and Fredericks was on the injured list, so you can't pick injured player in the challenge. Combined 11, if it matters. Raya, Aaron's, what have you picked 5? Atara, 1, 2, yeah, you picked 5. Raya, Aaron's, White, Gabriel, Ozzy, Billing, Odegaard, Tavernier, Atara, Semenyo, Jesus.
Bit of an update from X. So Arsenal have arrived in Bournemouth, and Saka, Rice, and Saliba have travelled with the squad.
Like I said, look, a lot of people are panicking. I'm as honest as I can be on here, and I do say if they're a doubt, and I do think Saliba is a 25% doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to play. Rice and Saka a bit more. I could probably see him on the bench. I think that would be the wise move, if I'm honest. Put him on the bench and play Jorginho. But Moss, we're going to go through to your team. I don't know how that works with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Latara having it. See, I don't know where you're going to. I suppose you put Jesus on the right, Semenyo up the front, Tavernier as one of the attacking midfielders, and Latara. It's fairly good. Again, I'm going to have to give you an 8 as well because it is quite good. It's slightly outside the box. But yeah, good effort. But yeah, well done, mate. 2-0 Arsenal. That's his prediction. Okay. He's going with a Jesus and Saka. I guarantee Trossard will not be playing. I'm pretty sure that one will not be happening. Patino has been doing bits in the Championship this season. Thoughts on if he can make the team next season? No, not next season. Another season, if I'm honest. I can see him having a very good season on loan, then being part of the squad next season, a small part like Carabao, FA Cup, bit parts off the bench now and then, bit like Jorginho coming on a little bit, but not yet. What about you, G, for Charlie?
Yeah, I think the same. I think the Arsenal midfield. I think Arsenal midfield will be an area that not massively needs addressing next summer, but I think there are going to be there's going to be movement there because I think we could potentially see both Partey and Jorginho leave the club, as well as El Neni as well. I know El Neni's kind of just hanging on by the skin of his teeth at the moment, but I think that's what we'll see. I think we'll see a bit of an exodus in terms of that number 6 role, and particularly those midfield options. I genuinely see El Neni gone. I genuinely see Jorginho maybe going back to Italy, and I probably see Partey moving on, maybe back to Spain, Italy, or even a Saudi club next summer. So I think
next summer or January for Partey.
Potentially January, but I mean he's got to get fit and start playing some games, ideally before then. But I definitely think those 3 will go between now and next summer. I think those 3 DMs will go, and I think that leaves a space. So I think Lokonga, he's out of the injured, isn't he now, for a couple of months? So that doesn't help with his loan spell at Luton. But I think he's another one that will try and move on as well next summer. So I think we're in for more excitement next summer. I think we'll need to bring in at least 1, if not 2 midfielders. But I think Patino could be part of a new midfield. I think he could come in because if we're letting go of the likes of Partey, Jorginho, Lokonga, and El Neni, most definitely, if he has a good loan, he continues to play the way he does. He is at Swansea. He's definitely within, a shout or a chance of having a role to play next season. So, yeah, I think he'll come in, but I don't think he'll be a starter. I don't think he'll be somebody that Arteta is going to kind of call upon. But like you said, cup games, rotation, stuff like that. Yeah, I'd like to see him in and around the first team squad next season.
Yeah. Luke's going for a 2-0 to the Arsenal. Tony Fulbrook's going for a 3-0 to the Arsenal. Tony Silva One is going for a 2-0 to the Arsenal. Havertz brace, says Tony. I'd love to know what the odds for that is.
I'd love that, you know. I genuinely would love that.
Look, I will always support Kai. Yes, he's German international, and I've loved him.
I really want him to succeed, man.
If he doesn't succeed, I think he would be brilliant at Munich. I honestly do think he'd be
I really want him to succeed, man. I don't think he was amazing against Brentford, but I genuinely don't think he was as bad as people make him out to be in that match. I think he was all right. But it's like his career now as an Arsenal player is so under the microscope. It's unreal. Do I think it's going to work out? My gut instinct says no. However, it's going to be a massive L for Arteta because by all accounts, you know, Arteta was the driving force in bringing him to the club. That's why I really want it to work because there've been so many agendas against Arteta since he's been at the club. He doesn't like Saliba. He doesn't like, ESR. He doesn't like this player. And all of them have been slowly, disproved or diminished or dismissed over the time he's been there. I just really want Havertz to work. I really, really do. So a brace for Havertz tomorrow would be amazing. It would be.
Take the pressure off a little bit. Yeah, big up to my brother. Been busy for him. Yeah, I can imagine. 2-1 to the Arsenal, says Brenny. Chris, I'll go into your comment in a minute. Moss just told me that RC Lon are up right now. Tammy Oda going for a 3-1 to the Bournemouth. Freak. Yeah, that would be painful. Thankfully, I'm not doing the watch along, but I think I might be doing the reaction. So
Timmy, an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, I think so because Timmy's always in. I think.
3-1, that boy.
Pretty sure
if it ends 3-1 for Bournemouth, just log out of X.
Yeah.
Just log out.
I guarantee there will be reaction because I don't hide. I don't hide.
Hello, my boy. If we lose 3-1 to Bournemouth, just log
I'll be
out
angry.
of X and just
I was angry against
on the
Tottenham.
timeline.
Yeah, I was angry against Tottenham. So
3-1 Bournemouth. Jeez.
Right, Chris. Big up to you. I know that you've done a really good job. However, Lloyd Kelly is one of those players you cannot pick, so you are disqualified. However, I will talk about your team. It's a very good team. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Lloyd Kelly, good right back. Billing, Cook, Odegaard, Cliver, Jesus, and Semenyo. Yeah, Semenyo is very underrated because he hasn't kicked on very well. Lewis Cook's so underrated. Yeah, he was in pretty much everyone's challenge team, so at least everyone is noticing how good he is. He is so good. He's one of those just midfielders that you don't really need to talk about. Deep runner, no worries, mate. He was on the injured list, but Chris, if you obviously dropping in and dropping out, it's hard to notice the list. But yeah, Lloyd Kelly can play at left back as well, and yeah, exactly, he can play in multiple roles, Lloyd. So yeah, you would have got away with it. Unfortunately, he is injured. But gee, I've got most people's predictions. What is yours for tomorrow?
You know what? Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans are concerned about this game because of the injury or suspected injury list, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm not, maybe I'm wrong, but even for me, a heavily rotated, injury-depleted squad, Arsenal squad should still be Bournemouth's first team, in my opinion. So I don't think there can be any excuses tomorrow. Even if the players we know that are doubts or out of the squad or potentially out or finally out are out, we have enough in our squad depth to win this game, in my opinion. And we should. I don't think, I will not be running to the timeline saying, you know what, if we do lose this game, we lost it because of our injuries. Yes, that is, there's a rationale, there's an argument there.
Yeah.
But the players we put in should be good enough to at the end of the day, that's the reason why they're in the Arsenal squad. Step up when you get your opportunity. So for me, there should be no excuses. So I do feel it will be maybe a trickier game than what I would have expected had we had a fully fit side. Having said that, I still think we're going to win this game comfortably. So I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
Okay, 3-1 to the Arsenal. I'm going for a 2-1 to the Arsenal. I think, again, it's very similar to what Jesus said. It's not going to be as easy as what a lot of people think it's going to be. But the Vitality is one of those stadiums that I wouldn't enjoy playing at. It's small, it's tight, it's just not fun. Yes, we've got a good record against them. I do like the way that this guy, Iriola, whatever his name is, manages the squad, then it's not working at the moment. Semenyo, when I've watched Bournemouth play this season, is a handful. So I hope that we have Saliba and Gabriel in the back because we will need them for that. And Jorginho needs to be, on 100% effort tomorrow. But yeah, it's going to be a tricky game. But yeah, like I'll stick exactly what Jesus said. We've got the quality.
We do.
To get it.
Zero excuses.
Exactly. There will be zero excuses. I'll be furious if we lose. And you'll see me on the reaction when I do it. Havertz needs the backing of the fans, mate. I 100% back him.
We do.
Never attacked.
We just need to get behind him until I get people's opinions. I 100% get it. I mean, I don't have a great opinion of some of our players, the likes of Eddie, the likes of Nelson, but. Listen, when Nelson started on Tuesday or Wednesday night, whenever that game was, it is what it is, and I supported him and I celebrated his goal. It's just is what it is. Right now, he's a gooner, he's an Arsenal player, and spending your whole time just rubbishing the guy and abusing the guy or putting negative vibes out there, it's just not helping the situation. Just pray it works, because ideally that's what we want. We want Leverkusen Havertz to show up at Arsenal and for him to have a successful career. Until that happens, and until the moment comes when Arteta or anybody else at the club say, you know what, unfortunately it's not worked out and it's time to move on, then it is what it is. But up until that point, I'm going to stick with the guy, and I'm going to just pray that the move turns out to be a success.
Yeah, look, we're all Arsenal fans. We all support the club. But I guarantee if you ask 20 Arsenal fans, they would have all different favourites, all players that would love to.
Yeah.
So they'll all be different.
Yeah, he's not one of my favourites, that's for sure.
Exactly. So, for me, I think we're playing Kai in the wrong position. But if he doesn't work out, personally, I'd send him to Bayern Munich, because I think he'd smash it over there in their system.
I think if it doesn't work with us, I think he will go back to the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I think rightly so. And he's more than welcome to my Dortmund. I'll happily support you at my Dortmund as well. But yeah, it is what it is. Dortmund 2-1, Lens. Oh, Dortmund had winning 2-1, Lens 1-0, Barca 0-0. Armoury scored on the weekend. Yeah, look, we've talked about Armoury. Obviously, you're at that point in the stream now. Look, he just made the wrong decision. He was advised wrongly. I don't think he should have left. He did have a future at Arsenal. Arsenal wanted him, but he wanted to leave. And the same has nearly happened with a few of our youngsters. Nwaneri, very, 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 very close to joining Chelsea.
I'm so glad he's quality.
He's quality. But it's very, very tough for these youngsters, because, look, you look at Cole Palmer. He had the chance at City. For some reason, I honestly don't understand this transfer at all. That's the craziest one for me this summer, is Cole Palmer chose to go to Chelsea. He was getting opportunities at City, and he's got talent, and he's gone to Chelsea, and I don't know what they're feeding him or what they're training him. I don't know if they're training some kind of different sport. I don't know what it is at Chelsea, but as soon as you go to Chelsea, it's like you had all these powers, and as soon as you go through the front door, they just zap.
Yeah, because look, you can see even you look at Adoy since he's left Chelsea and he's gone to Forest. He looks like a player again.
Yeah,
he was getting nothing at Chelsea. Yeah, absolutely nothing.
We could change that for a different player that left a different club, Alanga.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing at Forest.
Yeah,
amazing. Nearly tore us apart. So, and it's just
some clubs. If you're a young player looking for opportunities and for your career to head in the right direction, some clubs you just don't join.
Yeah,
and Chelsea's one of those clubs. I'm sorry,
it is right now. Yeah, it is.
But for a young player, you just don't join Chelsea right now. It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't want to go too much into Chelsea hate on here. However, their situation with their owner, and it's a group of owners, so it's not just like us where we've got KSE. It's like literally just Josh that you speak to. With Chelsea, you've got Todd, but then you've got all the Clearwater people, and there's so many different owners of that organisation of Clearwater, which is the ones that go into the dressing room. And I've seen what Potch has said this week about, it's lovely when they do it in the right manner. Not the right thing, personally. Just keep out the change dressing room because they know nothing about football, and they don't. Todd knows nothing about football. I know that he knows how to negotiate. He does that quite pretty well. But when it comes to football, just keep it out. They are too hands-on. We're very lucky with KSC. I know a lot of people don't like KSC, but I think we are quite fortunate at the moment. Vinay's leaving at the end of this next summer. I'm sure we're going to get a very good replacement for Vinay, because for me, Vinay was our weakest link in the hierarchy. So Vinay leaving, someone coming in for him, I think it will improve us in actual fact. Right, G, have an opinion. That doesn't mean give anyone to abuse a player. He's my boy. Yeah, Tony loves Havertz, and rightly so. Look, he's a very good player. Obviously, I'm part German, so I support him at international level. And he does do very well at Germany. He doesn't play it very well every single game, but he was so good at Leverkusen. So good. Help the Tractor Boys beat Wolves. I just cannot. I can't. Look, Moss, you know how much I hate Ipswich, and it's nothing to do about the town. It's literally the rivalry between Colchester and Ipswich. It's sunk into me. I'm born and bred Colchester. I was even based at Colchester as well for the military. So, yeah, Ipswich really knocks me. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I wish Armoury all the best in his future, but I just think he's made the wrong decision. I don't think he'll ever make it now, if I'm honest. As a big time player, he had the ability to. I just don't think he will now. You've got to choose right at this stage in your career, because if you choose wrong, you can end up. And look, I'll go a perfect example. Chuba Akpom. Look at where he is now, Ajax. Yeah. But he took one heck of a weird detour to get there. You know, Payok. I can't think the other club he played for before Payok. But it's just sometimes you've got to.
Wasn't he in Turkey for a while?
I think so, yeah. I think that might be why I'm struggling to remember the name, because I can't say hardly any of that.
But what he did was he went to clubs where he'd get minutes.
Yeah. But
that's what he did.
Again, it's one of those where he chose to lose Arsenal. But for me, I think he could have made it at Arsenal if he chose the right decision, because he is very good.
Yeah.
That's why he's now at Ajax. Yeah. Same as there's been a few actually that have gone and made careers for themselves since leaving Arsenal, and it's been a shame. It's wrong advice, unfortunately. Yeah. But anyway, we're talking about weird stuff for some reason. That's more loose cannons chatter than the preview. But Jay, thank you ever so much for coming on. I know you're a very busy man. Where can people find you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Like, I always love doing these shows. I was saying to you off air that, like, no matter how busy I am and tired I am, and I am absolutely exhausted, but I love talking Arsenal, and I love talking Arsenal with you and the Armoury guys. So pleasure to be on. But yeah, you can find me on X. I'm always tempted to say Twitter, but you can find me on X. That's where I do all my kind of interacting. That's probably the only platform other than here on the Armoury TV. So yeah, my handle is there, GTalksarsenal. Drop me a DM. If you're going to drop me a DM, please let it be a nice one. Otherwise, don't drop me a DM at all. But yeah, just follow me. Drop me a DM and I'll follow you back. And then we can get chatting. Brentford fans, I love you.
I never actually messaged him on Twitter. We are friends on Twitter. We follow each other. However, we never message. We talk in the group WhatsApp, to be fair. Yeah. But yeah, guys, you'll find me. What am I doing this weekend? I'm probably doing the reaction tomorrow, unless someone else is going to take it up. I will take it up, because I don't want us hiding away if the result doesn't go our way. We haven't got anything set up yet, but sure.
I could be available tomorrow, so I'll keep you posted, Bobby.
Yeah, we'll chat offline and try and arrange something. Yeah. But Sunday, I'm back with the Arsenal women. The first game against Liverpool on Sunday, 2:00. I'm all ready for it. But guys, thank you ever so much. Take care and enjoy your weekend.